Throbbing with emotion. Throbbing with emotion. Throbbing with emotion.
Alrighty, and now we have some more Stalwart tournament action, Stalwart division tournament action, the open weight, Stalwart open weight division tournament action. Right, you get the point. So this is Wraith versus Wiz, and as I was talking about in the last match, which was Paul versus Roughhouse Jolly, these guys are both 2-0 in the tournament so far. Of course, we've got 4 more phases or rounds of matches to go, so for most of the competitors, everything is still up for grabs here, but Powell is at the losing end of that last match, so pretty much if Wiz wins this one, Powell is almost certainly done in this tournament because Wiz has already beat Powell, and the way the round robin style works, at least you know the rules that we're using, that we're familiar with here at AZW, is that if there's a tie in the points, whoever won the matchup between the two who are tied is the one that wins instead of having a tiebreaker. Of course, if there's a multiple way tiebreaker, we'll probably have like a 3-way dance or something to break up the tie and have the final victor. Ooh, there's already a finisher there from Wiz. He's trying to finish this early. He wants the 3-0, which is kind of the aside from Paul already being close to defeat here in this tournament, because basically, the reason why he'd almost certainly be eliminated is that at this point, if Wiz wins this one, he'll be at 3-0 with 6 points. Paul, in order to win on points alone, anyway, Paul would have to win every single one of his last 4 matches, which isn't impossible, of course, he could do it, but then these guys, both of them, whoever wins this match actually, would have to lose all of their next matches so that there would be no tie. Now, if it's Wraith, of course, he could still win one more match, but then lose his other matches, because Paul faces Wraith in their 7th round or phase match, the last match of the tournament, one of the last ones. Where the matches lay will depend on who's competed win in the previous rounds. We try to set things up so that they're not having to have like 2 matches right after the other. That's an unfair advantage. Ooh, there goes Wraith out of the ring. Wiz is really fired up. He wants to win this match. Obviously, he wants to win all of them, but this one could be kind of important.
7.
It is important. Because whoever wins this match is the only one that's going to be 3-0 in this tournament right now, which is a big deal. Because that means that the individual who wins will have all the momentum behind them. That is huge for a tournament this small, because round robin, you can get some big sizes of groups, using different blocks and all that with this style of tournament. So only having 8 men with only 7 rounds of matches, that's a good sized tournament still. Lots of matches for y'all to watch, and really, keeps things interesting. Wraith just stole his taunt. He's mocking him, trying to get him pissed off. Looks like it's not. Wiz need to calm down there, dude. Don't let him get under your skin. You can't afford to be off your game here. So, yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, even though 8 guys in a round robin style tournament still means lots of action for y'all to watch. In terms of just how big a round robin tournament can be, it's a fairly small set. A small group of competitors. So going 3-0 is a big deal, with only 4 more phases or rounds to go. But the deal with Paul is that since he's already lost to Wiz, if Wiz wins this one, he would, if he wins one more match, even if he lost 3, and Paul managed to win every single one of his matches, Wiz would get the win, because he's beat Paul. So Wiz would have to lose this match and all of his next matches, and then Paul would have to win all of his matches, including beating Wraith at the end, to be able to stay alive, really. So, I think Paul is probably very nervous right now, watching this. Because he's contractually obliged to finish out the tournament. He can't just give up, even though, as I said, if Wiz wins this, then Paul isn't definitely eliminated. He would have to win all 4 of his next matches, and Wiz would have to lose all 4 of them. And that could be a potential way for Paul to win the tournament, depending on how other people do. But, I'm sure he's holding his breath, hoping for Wraith to win, because that would at least keep him a bit more alive in the possibility of a tie on the points here. So roll up but into the ropes. These 2 have been fairly vicious with each other so far. Not much quarter given, understandably, because again, they don't give a damn about Paul. The big story for these 2, of course, is, as I was saying, that whoever wins this one goes 3-0, and it keeps all that momentum going behind them. Up top, hammer blow, and a low blow. That's going to piss Wraith off. Gotta hurt, though. Don't recover from that quick. There's a roll-up one. Only 1 count. Irish whip, backdrop. Elbow to the upper shoulder or head. Couldn't quite tell at that angle. Ooh. And he's got him in a sleeper. And he's got that sunk in there. He got out of it. Shoulder tackle. Landing some punches there. Wraith has regained control from Wiz at this point. It's a hard strike inside the head. Forearm. And, no crap, there's the tornado DDT Wraith likes to use. Wiz, 1, 2. 3.
Pinfall.
And that's whizzed down a match in Wraith going 3-0, so I'm sure Paul is a little bit more relaxed right now because that keeps him more easily alive in the tournament, so he has more options at this point, and of course Wraith has got all of the momentum behind him now. That was kind of a short match, but intense there. Those two of them really were trying to finish this out, keep that momentum going for them, but Wraith came out on top there. So that was the match, folks. Well. We'll just have to see how the rest of the tournament develops. That was a heck of a development there. So as I was saying, Powell manages to stay more easily alive. He can still possibly win on points, and can, of course, if he could always win in a tie at this point too, if he managed to tie with Wraith and beat him in their final match, or some of the others. It just depends on, as I said, this victory for Wraith, big deal for him, but also a bit of a relief for Paul, because that keeps him a little bit more alive in the tournament. So there's a bit of drama there for those two matches, depending on how the results turned out, and bit of relief. I guess, Paul isn't one of my favorite wrestlers in the promotion. I don't really care for his, what I guess you could call it, tacky tactics and persona all that much, but, I would have hated to see him more or less get eliminated this early, only the third phase of matches. That's kind of early to get knocked out of a tournament, so I'm kind of glad to see that he's going to be able to keep going and not basically just there to fill in for the other guys so they can get their matches in. So we'll see how everything turns out with that, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.